Let us say together, you got to be hungry. Hold this one. Hold it. Mr. Watch said, Mr. Brown, what do you want to do? Well, sir, I'd like to be a disc jockey. Mr. Brown, if you want to be a disc jockey, you got to be hungry. What do you mean by that, sir? You've got to be willing to do the things that others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. He said you got to work on yourself, develop your mind. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. You got to be hungry. I said, yes, sir, I'm hungry. I want to be a disc jockey, sir. He said, is that right? I said, yes, sir. He said, start listening to Paul Harvey. Start listening to people who are effective communicators. Be conscious of what you're saying and how you're saying it. Because how you express yourself, once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. See yourself as a radio disc jockey. Start working to get sponsorship. Start creating the radio format that you want. Start developing your personality. I said, wait a minute, sir. I said, I want to be a disc jockey. I don't have a job yet. And then he quoted Whitney Young. He said, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. You got to be hungry. So I started working to develop myself and developing my communication skills. I expected to have a radio program, so I created my formats. I started learning how to write commercials and do jingles. And then I came to him one day. I said, okay, Mr. Washington. He said, okay, Mr. Brown, remember, you've got to be hungry. You don't have a college degree. You have no journalism. You have no broadcasting. This is a very crowded field. It's very, very competitive, Mr. Brown. You're going to face no and rejection every day. But if you're hungry enough, the world will make a place for you. So I went to apply for a job on Miami Beach to Milton Butterball Smith, the program director. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. You have any journalism in your background? No, sir. You have any kind of broadcasting experience? No, sir, but I've been training myself, sir. Let me audition for you. Let me show you how good I am. He said, I'm sorry, we don't have any job for you. I was discouraged. I went back and I told Mr. Washington. I said, Mr. Washington, they said no. He said, don't take it personally. Most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, you got to be hungry. Go back again. I said, yes, sir. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. Weren't you here yesterday? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? Yes, sir. Then why are you back today? Well, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir. No one was laid off. No one was fired. I came back the next day. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 3 days? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no the last 3 days? Yes, sir. Then why are you back today? Well, sir, I didn't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. No one got sick, no one died, no one was laid off or fired. Now, don't you come back here again. I came back the next day talking loud, looking happy, like I was seeing him for the first time. Hello, Mr. Butterball, how are you? He looked at me with rage. He says, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. Sometimes you have to stoop before you conquer. You got to sacrifice before you reign. So I became the errand boy for the disc jockeys. I'll go get their lunch and their dinner, and I'd stand in the control room, and I would not leave until they would ask me to. Then pretty soon, they trusted me to pick up entertainers that came to town. Entertainers like Diana Ross and the Supremes and the Four Tops and Gladys Knight. I used to drive them all over Miami Beach in the disc jockeys' big long Cadillacs. I didn't have any driver's license, but I was driving like I had some. Then one day, I was at the radio station, and a disc jockey by the name of Rockin' Roger was drinking while he was on the air. He was slurring his words. It was obvious he was so inebriated he couldn't complete his show. And there I was looking at him through the control room window, walking back and forth, young, ready, and hungry. I was saying, drink, rock, drink. Drink, rock. I'd have gone to get him some more if he'd asked me to. Then pretty soon the phone rang. It was the general manager, and I answered the phone. I said, hello? He said, young boy, this is Mr. Klein. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish his program. I said, I know. He said, would you call one of the other DJs in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up. I said, now he must think I'm crazy. I called my mama and my girlfriend Cassandra. I said, y'all come out on the front porch and turn up the radio. I'm about to come on there. I waited for about 20 minutes and I called him back. I said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody. He said, young boy, do you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and segue the records and don't say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get behind that turntable. I put on a fast record. I said, look out, this is me, LB, Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There were none before me and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single, love Domingo, certified, bona fide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. I was hungry. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, you gotta be hungry. There are people who come to this country who can't speak the language and they hit the ground running because they're hungry. The people that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. The people that are hungry are willing to make it okay to fail. They're risk takers. The people that are hungry are willing to reinvent themselves, to develop themselves. They know you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. The people that are hungry have goals and practical steps that they engage in day and day out.
I know that there are so many people that wake up every day hoping that they're going to win the lottery when they don't realize that the lottery is already inside of them. And that's why whenever you tell me, and I know every time we talk, you always remind me the importance of staying hungry and the importance of recognizing that greatness in me. So when did that process begin for you? When did you start noticing that even though your circumstances were probably some of the worst and most challenges that I've ever heard, you never let that stop the greatness from coming out?
It came out because of my mother. I'm here because of two women. One gave me life, the other one gave me love. God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. And I'm a mama's boy. I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that I ever hoped to be, I owe to my mother. And I went to work with my mother one day because even though she adopted 7 kids and the neighbors would volunteer to keep us, they wouldn't keep me because they said I was too much of a problem. They told us that, they said, Mamie, that one, he's a little touched in the head. My mother had to take me with her to work, and she worked for wealthy families on Miami Beach, and she cooked for them, and we ate the food left over from the families that she cooked for. And she kept their children, and we wore their hand-me-down clothes. And Mama only had a 3rd grade education. She never had any children herself, but she loved taking care of children. She wanted to share her life with some children. And one day, my mother was working for a lady that asked her to go look for a hat in another room. And I was told to scrub the spots off the floor in the kitchen. And so when my mother went in the other room, I heard my mother clapping her hands. And I was curious. I said, Mama. She said, what is it, Leslie? I said, why are you clapping your hands? She said, don't you worry about it. She said, you just continue to do what you're doing. And then she came out of the room and said to Miss Harris, I can't find the hat in there. So she said, go look in another room. And she went in that room, and shortly after that, I heard my mother clapping her hands. I said, Mama, why are you clapping your hands? She said, and this time she was irritated, Didn't I tell you to focus on what you're doing? And at that moment, Ms. Harris came to me, and I'm on my knees scrubbing the floor, and she said, I can tell you why she's clapping her hands. And I stood up and I looked her in the face. And during that time, Black people were not supposed to look white people in the face, in their eyes. And she said, when I have colored people looking for something that I tell them to look for and I can't see them, I make them clap their hands to make sure that they're not stealing. I dropped the brush that I had in my hand and I said, Miss Swiderski, Miss Harris, I said, my mother's not a thief. She would not steal from you or anybody. When she comes home and neighbors ask her what she'd been doing, she said, I took care of my children, the Harris children. She'll never steal from you or anybody. And I was insulted and angry with that. And I got back down on my knees and started scrubbing the floor, tears coming out of my eyes. And she walked away. She was in a state of shock. Like I dare this little Black boy to look me in the eyes and speak in such a defiant way that his mother is not a thief. And when my mother got us together to leave to get a bus across from Miami Beach back to Liberty City, I was very quiet and I was looking out of the window and tears coming down my face. And Mama said, Leslie, you're not saying anything. What's wrong? I said, I'm mad, Mama. She said, mad about what? I said, I'm mad because I'm not a man. She said, you'll be a man soon enough. I said, I want to be a man now. She said, why? I said, if I was a man now, we would not have to wait till someone eat to see if there's food left over. If I was a man now, we wouldn't have to wear somebody else's clothes that they've worn all year. I would be able to buy food and I could buy clothes for us. But if I was a man now, no one will ever make you clap your hands because they think that you're stealing. And she said, Miss Harris told you that, didn't she? I said, yes, ma'am. And I said, that will never happen again, Mama, when I become a man. I just turned and looked out the window. And that gave birth to the hunger in me to take care of my mother. I told her that when I turned, she told me when I turn 18, I'll be a man. I said, you'll never pay another bill. And my mother passed at 89, but when I turned 18, I worked and did everything. Sold newspapers, shined shoes, sold aluminum and copper at Pepper's junkyard, everything to make sure that I took care of my mother. And that has been the driving force in my life to provide for her. But that created a hunger in me that my mother would never, ever go through that kind of humiliating experience again. That was the birth of it.
I've never heard of a bigger speaker than you as an African-American man, especially earlier on. Like when I was watching YouTube videos, Africa is only was you, right? It wasn't and you were like, what kept you hungry for more as if not settling? Like, I
am so glad you asked me this question because I'm working with a brother named Odell, who's very, very talented brother, helping people to get into the speaking business. And he invited me as a guest. And I asked them, I said, I wanted you to listen to me. I want to ask you, why do you want to speak? Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can almost endure almost anyhow. I wanted to be able to take care of my mother. I promised my mother. Here I am. I'm one of 7 children that she took out of foster care and she adopted us. And I said, Mama, what is it, Leslie? When I become a man, I'm going to take care of you. You won't ever go to a nursing home. She used to work in a nursing home and she always said she never wanted to go to a nursing home. I was elected to the Ohio legislature and my sister called me and said, Leslie, are you sitting down? And I asked, what's wrong with Mama? She said, Mama's got breast cancer. I said, I'll be right there. She said, you can't. I said, what do you mean? You just got reelected to the Ohio legislature. You're the chairman of the education committee. And they're grooming you to run for statewide office. I said, I enjoy politics, but I love Mama. Leslie, they got nice nursing homes here. I said, listen to me. So I had a problem. How can one woman raise 7 children that she didn't give birth to, and 7 grown people can't take care of one woman? I said, I'll be there.
Wow.
And so I resigned from the Ohio legislature. I went back to Miami. I'll never forget, a friend of hers named Miss Mildred was there. And I rang the doorbell, and she came to the door, and she said, oh my God, Leslie. I said, yes, ma'am. And I heard my mother ask in the background, Mildred, who's that? And she said, it's Leslie. And I heard my mother say, I knew he would come. I knew he would come. And so I'm saying to people who say they want to speak, have a reason, whatever goal you have. You want to have your own business. You want to do something major with your life. Have something that you can anchor yourself on that gives your life a sense of purpose and meaning. In the German concentration camps in Auschwitz, and Viktor Frankl book called Man's Search for Meaning, he said the Jews that were able to survive the inexpressible cruelties of Nazism, they either had some loved one that they were determined to see, or some spiritual development that they anchored themselves into, or some cause that they believed in, that it would not break their spirit. Yeah. And so when I went on this trip,
he was walking in that snow for a long time.
Yeah, man.
He was different.
Yes, and so people who have purpose, they're different. If you don't have purpose, something
that's
to
another
anchor
level
yourself
of purpose,
to.
though.
Absolutely.
What they was going through.
What we went through.
Yeah.
You think about what James Weldon Johnson said, stony the road we trod, bitter the chesting rod, fell in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that with tears have been watered. We've come treading a path through the blood of the slaughtered. We went through the worst form of man's inhumanity to man in the world. No one had ever gone through that. Auschwitz, that can't even compare to what has been done to us, and they're trying to revisit that place again. And so, but we are the descendants of the ones that would not die.
Wow.
And so there is something in us, there's something in you and I, the irreducible essence of who we are, that no matter what life throws at us, that we will rise, as Maya Angelou would say.
I mean, right now, what are you doing now? Are you still reading? Are you still?
Yes, I read 30 to 40 pages a day,
wow, what
every
you tapping
day.
Into right now?
What I'm reading now and revisiting
and give me your top 3 all-time favorite books.
The Road to Your Best Stuff by Mike Williams.
Okay.
I wrote the foreword for that because he saw me. He took this guy who never knew his father, and it was a 2 years difference between us, but he was like a father to me, and he helped me to make some good decisions. There were periods in my life I was temporarily insane. Okay, Les Brown, the man about town. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. So he found me and he helped to groom me, okay? and get the crazy out. And so, but the other book that I love very much, it's called As a Man Thinketh.
So it's James Allen, right?
James Allen, yes. And they have a version As a Woman Thinketh. And another book that I enjoy is The Miseducation of the Negro by Dr. Carter G. Woodson, because we have been miseducated. If you look at what's going on now, when you have people actively working to take our history out of the books, why? When you have a strong sense of identity, that gives your life a sense of purpose. And when your life has a sense of purpose, that gives your life a sense of direction. So we have been groomed to be spectators, to consume entertainment, as opposed to consuming information and educating ourselves in this era of accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. It's a new place. And so we have to do what you're doing and your partners and people who've been watching you is make artificial intelligence our ally. We were created by the Creator to create. And so there's a part of us that this place demands that we step up and step away from the behaviors that does not represent the greatness that is within us.
That's good.
And challenge us to dig within to bring out the next greatest version of ourselves. You think about Lion King, Simba, you are more than that which you have become. And this is what your program is about. You are more than that which you have become. Are you talking about me and I can't even find a job and I just got out of jail? Yeah, you got greatness in you. And so as we bring that mantra over and over again and deliver it to people in a way that they can hear it at all levels, we are able to change the culture. Cultures are treated by people and they can be changed by people. When you look at the killings that are taking place in Atlanta and around the country, that it represents the collective thinking of people. And there's an African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. So we've been groomed for discard, to hate ourselves. And so when you have something that says, you have greatness in you, it causes you to ask yourself, am I in alignment with what I'm hearing? And what is it I need to do? And if a man is to gain his life, he must lose his life. We got to die to who we have been to give birth to who we are to become. You will get to see a future that I won't get to see. But the things that I'm learning and doing, you're going to take it to a whole new level. And those who are watching now, because of the fact that I'm here because of Miles Monroe, I'm here because of Dr. Benjamin Mays. I'm here because of Malcolm X and Dr. King. And so we're standing on shoulders of giants and Dr. Andrew Young. And so as we're moving forward in the future, this communication with us, this is major.
Yeah. I was just actually a guest. I went to the mayor's event and I was a guest of Dr. Andrew Young, one of my friends. That's how I got in through them, so it was pretty cool.
Yes.
I met him and his wife, so.
Yes, wonderful couple. I saw them at the event recently with our very good friend, John Hope Bryant.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he's
no nonsense.
Absolutely. And I just love the standards that he has and how he's held himself to a higher standard. And to hear a brother like you who can hold a conversation. And I train kids. I'm going to be doing a training with some kids this summer. And I teach them that profanity is the strongest expression of a weak mind.
Wow, that's good.
When you hear so many of these athletes, our kids are watching them. They're their heroes, and they just use profanity one after the other, the females as well as the guys. And words matter. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. Thou shalt decree a thing, it shall be established unto you. And so your languaging style, it affects people. It creates a certain kind of mindset and says a lot about how you see yourself.
I appreciate that, yeah.
Let's talk about buried treasure and why you opened the book with this, because your story and my story has a lot of similarities, and our journey, the journey that we took to being where we are today. But every author has a journey. And how has your journey actually influenced you as a best-selling author, as a business mogul and motivational speaker? How has that influenced you?
Well, being born in an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother, Wesley, and then after 6 weeks, we were taken in as foster kids by Mrs. Mamie Brown. I am on this broadcast with you because of two women. One gave me life and the other one gave me love. I always say that God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. And I always quote Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. And so that being in that environment, born in that environment, but most of all, the impact and the influence of the character of my mother, her faith, her drive, her determination. I remember a reporter when I had a talk show, King World, and they paid me $5 million to do it. And the reporter asked her, how did you know that you could raise 7 children by yourself that you've adopted as a single woman? And she said, I just felt that the Lord would make a way somehow. And that has driven me that I talk to people, you don't know what you can't do. You don't know enough about yourself to be a cynic. That there are things that we can do. We are more than conquerors. We're here, I strongly believe, to do the greater work. And that we don't have to operate out of the thinking of being logical and practical and realistic. I believe leap and grow your wings on the way down.
Yes.
Become risk takers. We're taught to walk by faith and not by sight. And so my environment, it created within me a mindset of being unstoppable, of believing, of trusting, and living an expanded life. Most people live a small life because they have this limited vision of what's possible for them based upon the culture that they live in and the conversations that they have been exposed to, and they don't even know. It's unconscious. And so we've all had moments in our lives when we've done things outside of our comfort zone, and we say, wow, I can't believe that I'm doing this. Because now, when you operate out of your comfort zone, in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. That's why Paul said, I must die daily. We must die daily to who we are, to give birth to who we are destined to become. But most people don't realize, and they don't evolve. They get on a track and they stay on that same track and never get off that particular track. And they take their talents, their abilities, their skills, their dreams with them to the grave. And so when Miles Monroe said that the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery, that's real. My best friend, when he died, he was a great cook. And he always talked about having this recipe book that he was going to have. He fixed great Jamaican and Caribbean dinners and plates. He was a master chef. And I'll never forget when I left his graveside after the funeral, a lady came up to me and said, did Alexander, we called him Boo, did Alexander ever write that recipe book? And I said, no. And she said, whoa, he took that with him. And so most people take their talents, their abilities, their skills, their knowledge, the things lying dormant in us. We were not born to be one-dimensional. We were born to do things, to experiment with life, to become a risk taker. Viscott said, if you're not willing to risk, you can't grow. And if you can't grow, you can't become your best. And if you can't become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? I love what Mary McLeod Bethune said. Pray as if everything depends upon God, and work as if everything depends upon you. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. So you don't have to know. Do the best that you can, and God will do what you can.
Thank you so much. What an amazing answer. I have someone that just texted me not too long ago. And one of the questions he asked, he said, like Mr. Brown, I was adopted. What were the circumstances when discovering what were the circumstances when you discovered you were adopted? And how did that shape your mind as a motivational speaker? And it's a two-part. The second part is being a top motivational speaker and best-selling author your job or your purpose?
It's my purpose. Yes. We were not born to work for a living. We were born to live our making. And making our living will earn whatever we want to earn in terms of life. I was born to speak. My children tell me I talk in my sleep. I used to get in trouble in school for talking so much. Now when I speak in the United States, I earn $70,000 an hour. There are people who work a whole month that don't earn that. And when I speak outside of the United States, I earn $225,000 an hour. So when you connect with your superpower, there are things that you're able to do that you don't even know how to do, but you will find a way to do it. When I spoke in the Georgia Dome, I'd never done that before. And people go on YouTube and put in Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. They'll see me speaking before 80,000 people. That's confirmation when they see that. They can do more. Remember in the Lion King, Simba,
Yeah.
you are more than that which you have become. They realize, oh my God, if he can do that, I was labeled educable, mentally retarded, and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, and failed again in the 8th grade. They said I was a troubled kid, that I was touched in the head, that I run my mouth too much. Okay, and now, I mean, I get paid to speak. God be served. When I get up in the morning, I say, oh God, all things work together for good for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. And so when you, in alignment with your purpose, you will be able to do things that you don't even realize and know that you cannot do. That's why we're told to walk by faith and not by sight. We're told, judge not according to appearances. And so this is how I live my life. I didn't know I could do this. And sometimes you have to be intelligently ignorant. According to the laws of aerodynamics, a bumblebee isn't supposed to fly, but the bumblebee doesn't know it. So it just keeps on flying anyhow.
Yes. And I often say, Mr. Brown, that we're all winging it. And so we're all winging it. So one of the things I love about listening to you, and I listen to you every single day, and not too many people get my attention like that, I could tell you. Right. But you have a brilliant mind, and your ability to take a quote, one quote, and build an entire message around that is nothing short than brilliance. And you
have that gift too, because one of my favorites that you do, but God, come on somebody. Let me tell you something. I was running around the house and accidentally fell and flipped and hit my head and left myself half conscious with a hickey on my head. Shout to but God. You messed me up with that one there.
Listen, Les, there's so much more we could talk about. I just want you to know that I'm privileged to know you. I feel like over the years, you were part of my core in terms of personal development and growing. You gave me hope. And I think part of that hope came, truthfully, is I was held back in the 1st grade. By the 4th grade, I realized I couldn't read very well, and they would take me out of social studies class, and they would take me upstairs to this other room with 3 other students, and I sat in extra small tables, extra small chairs, and they would have me read cartoon books and then take a comprehension test at the end. So I locked on the belief that I'm not a reader. Maybe some people are born to read and some people aren't. And I watched my older brother who read all the time, and then I didn't read until I was a junior in high school. And it was around that time that I came across you. And I remember listening to that old speech you gave, which was awesome. I have the whole speech written in a journal, by the way. But you said in there that the average American reads 1 book a year. And I remember hearing that and thinking, no, as Jim Rohn said, all leaders are readers. And I think you actually said that once too.
Yes, right. And yes, 1 book a year, and it said in there, said that if you discipline yourself to read 1 book a month, in 5 years, when the average American read 5 books and you'd have read 60 books, that will make you an expert.
Wow. Wow, what a great reminder for people.
Yes, absolutely. Knowledge is the new currency, and your ability to present and relationship capital. Quality people. I teach OQP, only quality people. Many people, TJ, never achieve their goals because they have too many toxic, negative energy draining people in their lives. Now, some people say, well, can I change them? No, it's a full-time job changing yourself. And I believe that you have to really focus on yourself. There's a quote by Iyanla Vanzant that I love, and I'm practicing. And it says, give to yourself until your cup runneth over, and then give to others from the overflow. I tried to help my twin brother lose weight, and I gained 14 pounds.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's real too, man. If you know someone who's hungry, who's serious, who has a passion for changing lives, and who feel that changing lives is a calling on their life. As I said, the speaking industry has been hijacked by speakers who speak to sell.
Yeah.
I want speakers who want to make a difference in life, that they feel that this is what I'm supposed to do. I believe I was born to speak. I talk in my sleep. So I'm looking for the one. I'd like to have 70, because 7 is my lucky number. 77. I was born February 17th. I'm one of 7 children. Joshua marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times. I tell you, 7 is my lucky number, my brother. All right? I'm looking for 77 people who will email me, who are hungry, and say, Les, I'm the one. I'm the one. And I'd like for them, before they call me, to go on YouTube and watch Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome, where I was speaking to over 80,000 people.
I said, because I'm educable mentally retarded. And he came from behind his desk and he looked at me. He said, don't ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And that man, Mr. Leroy Washington, did something for me. He started planting seeds in my mind.
And I tell the story about, I said to Mr. Washington, sir, I'm the one. I'm the one. When he said he's looking for one student that he has impacted that will make the fact that he came to Booker T. Washington High School worthwhile. One who wanted to go out and make the community proud, make their family proud. And I said, sir, I want to make my mother proud. And that was what motivated me to get into this area. He was a speech and drama teacher who helped me to discover my voice.
When you talk to people, you make them feel very, very special. When I was the MC of this event, I was a nobody knew me, and you took time backstage to talk to me and to give me advice. How do you do that? To take time, everybody is nervous, you were close to going on stage and you took time for me.
I was working to find how could I get into the speaking industry. And I saw this guy that I had admired for years. And I approached him backstage and I said, sir, I'd like to meet you, because I'm interested in doing what it is that you do. And he looked at me with such disdain and contempt. And he didn't say anything, and he just walked away. There's an old saying, you can judge a lot about a person's character based upon how they treat someone that they consider insignificant. And as he walked away, I said to myself, Lord, when I make it, any of your children that I can help, that I can have a moment with, and be able to let them know that they have something special, they have greatness in them. When I make it, I will never treat anyone like I have just been treated. I will always create moments so I can talk with them, just as I talk to you. Wow. And so that drives me. I remember giving a presentation at a major corporation, and all of these various speakers who had been in the industry for years, they were there with all of their electronic equipment and they had their PowerPoints. And I had a cardboard visual aid rolled up with a rubber band around it. And so I looked at all of their equipment. I was the only one who had no equipment, just a rolled up visual aid that I had created that night before. I went to the bathroom and I said, Les Brown, you are not intimidated by them. This is your time. You have some value. You can make some impact. And we had to go into a room to present before this panel. So I put my visual aid in the trash can. I went in the room. I was the only one that came in there and had no PowerPoint presentation. So the person who asked me the question, who was hosting it, he asked, where's your PowerPoint? I said, I am the PowerPoint. And he dropped his head like this. And he said, I can't believe this. And so other members on the panel started asking me questions. And when they finished, I said, they said, is there anything else? And they said, no. And I turned to walk out, and he said, Mr. Brown, the reason that I dropped my head, I couldn't believe this. He said, when I was 6 years old, my mother saw you at an airport and she spoke to you, and you kneeled down and looked me in the eyes and said, what is his name? And she said, Earl. And he said, I said to him, come closer. I see greatness in you. Wow, do you see this? I see greatness in you. And she said, yes. I said, you're gonna make your mother proud. Oh my goodness. And I hugged him and I said, thank you so much for this opportunity for me to hug greatness.
Wow.
And walked away and got my flight. He said, I never forgot that, and I never thought I would ever see you again in person. And I am the chairman of this committee, and this is your contract. You can hire the other ones as subcontractors if you want to.
Wow. What an impact in somebody's life.